legendary comedian and comic and dramatic actor, as you have to do both nowadays. And you should anyway, because comedy and tragedy go together like peanut butter and jelly. All right, so thank you so much for listening, and let's welcome the incomparable Rick Overton.
Good morning.
Good morning. Here he is, everyone. This is Rick Overton.
Hi.
Good to talk to you. I haven't spoken to you. It's so funny. In
Right.
like 9 years. So that's
It seems like you could have a lot of room. You could have fit Kevin Bacon in 10 times. There, so.
I actually had like a degree of Kevin Bacon once.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, at the IO. We go back, guys. IO West. We've talked about it before.
West,
Poor IO West.
Sunset near Ivar.
Yes, indeed. And now there's posters. I don't know if anything ever happened there. I haven't been there in a minute, but the last time I checked, it was just posters all over the
The
building.
they get the competition, they get the UCB down the street, and suddenly everybody's going over to the UCB, and and then they had Second City the other way down the street.
Yeah. And Groundlings,
so
not too far away.
The competition was all starting to crowd around that Hollywood area.
And then, like, towards the end, we had, like, the club next door that was just so fucking loud.
The dance club that would
Yeah.
have all the ballet space taken up, right?
Exactly. And so...
It's a brutal biz, you know? It is kind of like plant life, just all competing to get the sunlight.
Indeed. Well, what was I going to say about IO? I started out there.
I had some of my best shows there, doing experimental fun things, because the crowd
Yeah.
there sort of has an experimental mindset, you know. So and that I could also say the same for any time I did a show at UCB or anything else, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that crowd that goes to not just a regular comedy club, but sort of an improv setting. You have to have a different tuning in the way you look at things to give these moments leeway to pay off later for you.
Yeah.
You don't expect that joke like in a club.
I remembered now the Kevin Bacon thing. He was at a celebrity performance, and he was there, and Elizabeth Banks was there as well. But I didn't see either one of them. I just hung out outside looking in at Kevin Bacon like, no, I'm not ready for this yet. I can meet some people, but I can't meet Kevin Bacon because I don't want to be 1 degree away from him. If we're not like working together, it doesn't count.
It'll come around again. It wasn't time.
It wasn't. But I have met, obviously, you at the bar in November 2013. I don't remember exactly what date it is, but I know it's towards the end of the year. So we're right around that date of the anniversary, which is pretty crazy. And I met you and obviously your wonderful friend Robin and Williams, obviously, guys. And then Kevin McDonald was also there from Kids in the Hall, and that was really special.
That's right. He was doing some stand-up.
Yeah.
Back then.
That's really cool. And then I didn't even see the show that night, actually. It was so funny, the set list. And I know he performed, and I knew because everybody was crowding around watching. I know people were watching in the bar.
He crushed it. He was really good.
Yeah. I saw like a clip from Shane Hartline, an old friend of mine. I wish I had kept up with everybody from IO. I wish I had tried harder to keep up with my teammates also from my crews, my improv group that I was in. It was called The Source. It was pretty cool.
I heard about The Source.
Ah!
Did you ever go to? How long? What year to what year was The Source?
I have no idea. I cannot recall.
I've never seen it on posters.
Yeah, there were posters. This is true.
Yeah, I saw that.
And we did perform in a few places.
What formats did you do? What kind of stuff did you do?
Oh man, we had a thing that we did. I can't remember what it was. It was called something. That we learned, and I forgot what it was called.
Herald, long form Herald.
It was a herald, but it was a specific type that was called something. It was like a method. No, I can't remember. I feel so bad that I don't remember. But
yeah, it's branched away to become many different things, hasn't it?
Yeah. And then they got like commercials, a lot of them and everything, and they would get famous. Like a lot of the people that I knew from level 1 improv. Like, they ended up in TV shows and stuff like Echo Kellum and David Guntoli. And then also, I improved with Nia Renee Hill, who ended up married to Bill Burr, who I met at an improv show because we had to go for homework one night, and she brought him as her boyfriend. So that was a really special moment for me.
Oh boy, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I met a lot of great people at I.O. and made a lot of connections that I wish I had kept, and especially after the Facebook group that we had, like the iOS skill book. I just got off of Facebook and had to do away with a lot of connections, unfortunately. And also after the selection of 2016, a lot of people were just like, I can't be around you because you didn't vote for her, you voted for someone else. And anyone you voted for was a vote against her and for Donald Trump, as you recall, I'm sure. But that's how it was viewed a lot.
That's when people have their alphabet is A to B.
Right.
Like, so you always hear people say, they cover the bases A to Z. I say, this person over here, he covers things A to B.
That makes sense, yeah.
Which means they have a narrow perspective.
Exactly.
They don't
binary.
Have a broad one. They don't, it has to be either this or that. And that is, some people, it's not everyone that it all comes from trauma. But some people, they have their own, the way they like lockdown is because they know from a trauma when they lock things down for themselves around the traumatic younger person's circumstance, that somehow represented safety.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense on a psychological level. Yeah, a lot of people.
So they retreat to it. It's a safety retreat. It feels like you're in your tank or you're in your safe house, a circumstantial safe house.
And a lot of cognitive dissonance in that too, because we're dealing with two would-be war criminals. I mean, he would have been a war criminal at that point. She was already a war criminal, so I was never going to vote for a war criminal. It's just, I already made the mistake.
But that doesn't matter to.
Yeah, that doesn't matter to them.
The comfortable.
Because they don't see it. They don't feel it.
Because there are comfortable conservatives, so we can't say it's just liberals.
Exactly,
It's about comfort and the addiction of comfort and how all society and the woes of which crying out into the darkness will never reach your ears if you're comfortable. And you got the windows, your double sealed weather windows closed, you won't hear them anymore because it's the self-involvement movement of like the 1970s was the dagger in the heart of the 60s. Because it turned everybody around from looking at each other to back to looking at themselves.
Excuse the airplane, by the way.
Waves of narcissists could only logically follow after that.
Sorry, there's an airplane here.
What's that?
There's an airplane here, of course.
Okay. Well, I was going to say there's narcissists.
Yeah.
That can be from either side, either party, but the trait that bonds them, unites them, is the narcissist.
Yeah.
And the people who don't bond with anyone else, they are bonded by that, like sharks. They're not really team players, but you'll see them glide past each other. That's as much respect as they show. And and people like that who are, a narcissist is often they go hand in hand with sociopathy.
Yeah.
And there are people kind of born like sociopaths, but I think under other, parallel universe circumstances raised by other hands, that maybe dormant trait in them could remain so and not be activated by trauma. And they could be completely different people. It's a little late for a lot of people right now. I'd say this is it for this ride.
Yeah.
And you have to adjust to the knowledge of that, but let's try not to make that mistake anymore.
Yeah.
Catch it. Watch it being done to the young early. And so a lot of what's being done in our media right now is a sort of sociopathy training course. And it could be anything from remember when heroes would run into a burning building to rescue a total stranger? And now our superheroes, they crash through buildings to fight a bad guy. One bad guy, they'll go through someone's apartment with a baby room and the crib and everything. I just blast right through it because they got to kill some cartoon character. And so it's training people to think in terms of monolithic mission success over collateral damage. How many times do you see the new action heroes?
Yeah.
The shoot 'em up action hero. He'll stop a car and try and pull a gun out. Get out of your car. And guys like, my mother's medicine. Get out of the car. Why? These gunmen are after me. That's why. And he'll take the guy's car and he'll drive it the wrong way through traffic on the freeway. So all these vans with seniors are flipping and hitting the railing and everything like that. They don't give a shit about anybody because the hero's got to get away from them. Oh, by the way, the government chased them down the wrong way on the freeway. And they start opening fire, and guess what? They miss, and all they do is hit everyone around him.
Yeah.
But that's okay because the hero's got to get away.
Right? Yeah.
And everyone calls him the hero. Action hero, conflicted action hero. You know, and then you can watch shows that I always thought that Game of Thrones was Lord of the Rings if it was written by Golem.
Yeah.
And it's because it is no good people, and everyone will stab everyone else in the back. Sociopathic training.
Yeah.
People say it's a guilty pleasure, and listen to their subconscious go. Thank you, subconscious. It just said you're guilty. That's right.
Yeah.
You're guilty of poisoning your spirit with thinking that that's how we treat each other. You know.
Yeah.
And so no one likes hearing that. That's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's how they got us. They want it to be uncomfortable. So
exactly.
They never talk about it, and it just stays right where it is forever. You know, at the very top of a pyramid, there aren't sides. I mean, even in the physics of it. Yeah. There's just one point. And that's where power is. It doesn't have any sides. It doesn't have any religions.
True.
It worships power. And then it just play acts everything from it trickles down from there.
Yeah.
I think it's thinning out. I think it's getting used up.
Yeah.